August 2025 was a really wild month for the aviation industry. It was just full of these dizzying contradictions. We saw headlines that were soaring to record highs, and at the same time, others were plummeting to some desperate lows. So let's break down what was really happening up in the skies.
On one hand, the optimism was just, well, it was off the charts. You had airlines placing these massive, multi-billion-dollar bets on the future. It felt like a brand new gold rush, but this time for the newest, most efficient aircraft.
But, and this is the crazy part, at the exact same time, other major airlines were sounding the alarm bells, basically warning that they might not have enough cash to even survive the year. It was a completely different reality playing out in parallel.
And the wildest thing? All of this was happening while more people were flying than ever before. Demand was absolutely red hot. But that heat, it clearly wasn't warming everyone up equally. So what was really going on here?
To really understand this whole picture, we've got to look at the key events that shaped the month. And, it all starts with the passengers, with us.
The demand for travel is just hitting historic levels. I mean, just look at the UK. A record-breaking 81 million passengers flew in just the second quarter. That's up 3% from last year. And this wasn't just a London thing either. Airports all across the country saw some serious growth. The appetite for flying is back, and frankly, it's bigger than ever.
And some airlines are responding to this demand with just staggering confidence. Korean Air dropped an absolute bombshell this month, a $50 billion investment. And no, that is not a typo, $50 billion.
Okay, but it's the sheer scale and the strategy here that's truly remarkable. This isn't just a simple shopping spree for some new planes. No, this is a complete fleet overhaul. The order's got everything, a mix of next-gen narrow bodies, wide bodies, and freighters. Korean Air basically said this is a strategic move to standardize their fleet for the long haul, especially as they get ready to finalize their big integration with Asiana Airlines. It's a massive, massive bet on future growth.
But here's the thing. Korean Air's story, it's not the whole story. While some airlines were busy writing these record-breaking checks, others were writing desperate pleas just to survive. And that's created a tale of two wildly different fortunes.
And that split becomes incredibly clear when you look at who was thriving versus who was struggling. In one corner, you've got carriers like Korean Air and Qantas, which, by the way, posted strong profits and ordered 20 new planes of their own. And then in the other corner, you have Spirit Airlines and Air New Zealand, both facing some really severe operational and financial headwinds. It's a clear and honestly a growing divide.
And to really get just how dire the situation was, you only need to read the airline's own words. Now, this isn't some analyst speculating. This is straight from Spirit Airlines' own official filing with the SEC. It's a formal declaration that their ability to survive the next 12 months is in substantial doubt. That is a truly sobering statement from a major U.S. carrier.
And the pressure is just coming from all sides. As Spirit is struggling with its cash flow, its rival, Frontier Airlines, is pouncing. They're launching 20 new routes aimed directly at Spirit's core markets. In response, Spirit had to hire advisors to explore its options and was forced to completely draw down its $275 million credit facility just to stay afloat. So we have record demand, record orders, and record desperation, all happening at once. How can all these things be true? Well, it's because they aren't separate stories. They're all symptoms of a fundamental shift in the industry, a trend we're calling the Great Aviation Divide.
At its core, the industry is splitting in two. On one side, you have the well-funded aggressors, right? They're using their strong balance sheets to invest in new planes and capture that lucrative international and premium travel boom. And on the other side, you have the survivors, who are just bogged down by older fleets, intense domestic competition, and operational nightmares, just trying to keep the lights on.
And you can really see the two different playbooks side by side here. The aggressors, like Korean Air and Qantas, are all about fleet modernization and long-haul expansion. The survivors, like Spirit, Air New Zealand, and Kenya Airways, they're forced into these defensive positions. They're battling these crippling headwinds, like the ongoing Pratt & Whitney engine issues that have grounded parts of Air New Zealand's fleet, or the maintenance problems that grounded Kenya Airways' Dreamliners. They're just trying to find new capital to survive.
So look, this isn't just a bunch of corporate drama. This Great Aviation Divide has a very real impact on your travel plans, on your wallet, and on your overall experience as a passenger. So what's the big takeaway from all this for you? Well, you should probably expect a more two-tiered travel experience. You might fly on a brand new super fuel-efficient jet with one airline, and then an older, maybe less reliable one with another. The price differences could get even bigger, and as these struggling airlines are forced to shrink their networks, the routes you rely on might change, or even disappear.
The sky is the same for everyone, but the journey you take is becoming very, very different.
And all this leaves us with a critical question for the future of travel. As this divide between the aggressors and the survivors just gets wider, the industry is being completely reshaped right before our eyes. The question really isn't just about who can fly the highest anymore, but who can actually survive the turbulence.